lines are locked. 4, match day is near. 3, the picks are clear. 2, the picks are in. 1, let the show begin. Game on! It's that time again. Game on! Kicks and picks is back again. Game on! Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Game on! The guys are here and ready to go. Game on!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Kicks and Picks podcast, special Thursday night show for you this week. Nick and Coach Steve here. Scotty is overseas, so we brought in very special guest, gambling Twitter legend, good friend Tim Lawson at The Better Life. You know him either from his gambling knowledge overall or his brand new show, the Double Chance Pod, covering all of MLS. Fantastic show that I had the pleasure to be on a few times this year. So, Tim, thank you for clearing your schedule. Thank you for hopping on with us. Really appreciate you coming.
Yeah, you know what? As a furloughed government employee, the only thing in my schedule is the family, right? So you just had the only thing you were competing with was the family, particularly my daughter's bedtime, right? That's the only thing we really had to work around. I'm excited, fellas. I don't get to talk Premier League often with people. Nick, as you know, I'm pretty focused on American soccer, but I do love the Premier League. I love English football in general. There was a time in my betting life where I was betting like up and down all of the leagues, League One, League Two, Championship, right? And so I'm excited. I don't dabble too much in Serie A these days, but I do have my sportsbook tabs open so you guys can talk me into betting something so I can have some action in Italy too.
Man, I wish we had a better Serie A slate to talk him into this week, Nick, but yeah, I'm sure we'll find something.
Not a whole lot going on, but we do have a big one this week, and that is Man City taking on Liverpool. So we are going to start there. Then we'll run through some futures because, we're 10 weeks in. We're a quarter of the way into the season, so we want to see how everybody's futures are shaping up versus the market, and we will get into some MLS playoffs because if you haven't been following along, you've been missing out, and Tim will help us break it all down. So jumping straight into this one is two teams that I personally cannot make sense of, so that's why I need you two guys to help me there. But we got number 2 against number 3, City, Pool. City's at home in this one. They are winners of 4 out of 5. Pool are losers of 4 out of 5. Money line reflects it. City, big favorite, -110 at home. Pool plus 265 dog and a plus 300 draw line, which is something I feel like is maybe the biggest number we've seen in this fixture in quite some time. I was expecting something in the low 2s. We'll take you through the rest of the odds shortly if there's anything you like, but guys, just straight up, I want your thoughts because I don't know who these teams are through 10 weeks of the season, through 4 match weeks of Champions League. Jekyll and Hyde. Who's the real deal? Who's got the edge in this game? Who wants it?
I mean, I'd say, just to start, based on the league standings, I know Arsenal's rooting for a draw here, right? Because if Arsenal gets a draw, they're sitting really pretty. We mentioned we're going to talk about some EPL futures now that we're a quarter way in after this match. This is really big in terms of if anybody's going to be able to challenge Arsenal for the title, right? Whoever wins this has the leg up. For me right now, I have to give it to City, right? They're the more informed side. They're getting hotter at the right time, whereas they started slow and, Liverpool started well, and then now they've kind of just fallen off a bit. Got that win against Real Madrid in the Champions League, which is certainly a boost to their confidence and, to their stock a bit. But in terms of the way they've been playing, I can't trust Liverpool right now. City at -110 is a pretty good number on them at home. Matches like this is tough not having like a draw no bet protection if you go money line, but based on what they've done, even just you look at the defensive record, right? City's got 20 scored, 8 allowed in 10 matches. Liverpool's allowed 14 goals, and City's starting to score. I think they put up 3 yesterday on Dortmund. Haaland obviously just keeps on bagging. It's gonna be a tall task for I think that Liverpool defense. I mean, the one thing that jumped out at me is that Liverpool usually concedes first a lot of the time. I did look at that bet for City. It is minus 160, so it's more of a parlay piece at this point than a straight bet at that number, in my opinion. But if you're asking me who do I trust right now in a head-to-head fixture, I'm going City based on form.
Tim, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. Let me tell you the bet that I'm going to have here. As you said, it's tough to know, of these. I'm a little disappointed with, like, we're not talking about how Sunderland might challenge Arsenal. They do have as many points right now as Liverpool do.
Fair enough.
But I say that I'm being facetious. Manchester City. Let's talk about what they're doing in the first half. They're scoring first and they're scoring early. And something that Liverpool has done in all of this run of matches in which they are losing is they're giving up that first goal, and they're doing it early on. I'm going to be on Manchester City on the first half here. I think Manchester gets the jump on them. City, I think, is just an all-around better team, despite, there's no disrespect to how, the talent that Liverpool has, but this isn't the City team that looked so beatable week to week last year, right? They've tightened their lines up. They are producing chances more reliably. And I think that their ability to get chances early and finish them is going to prevail here in Liverpool. I'm going to take the plus 140 for City to get it done in the first half. That's my look here in the big game.
I like it a lot. The only game that trend really didn't come through was this week in the Champions League when Liverpool decided they knew what they were doing, and I think handed Real Madrid their first loss of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So
I almost like Champions League, Europa League, I pay attention to it, but the handicapping international tournaments to me is so difficult. And the people who do it well, hat tip to them, because trying to handicap different clubs and how they're going to play each other with their style of play, what the culture and the style of their league is, and trying to bring that into a tournament, and who knows how these teams are preparing for each other, either going into an international tournament like that, or if they're focused on league play. I think that look, I can only imagine that Liverpool has hardware on their mind. Maybe maybe the league is taking second fiddle to what they think they can get done in Champions League, right? And so maybe training and such is getting more focused there. Anybody is going to look at this Liverpool side, and I think the double chance here gets bet before game time. I think we're going to see some Liverpool money come in there because, like you mentioned, that plus 300 on the draw is also enticing. But I don't want to bet to have to survive 90 minutes, right? I want 45 minutes of a prepared City team who I think is going to be just better in that first half. And hopefully I win a bet at halftime, and then I can enjoy the rest of the match.
Oh, I love the strategy. And I could totally see it, right? City just get off well early at home, crowd behind them. Exactly what you're hoping for. It would really impress me to see that happen and Liverpool still make a game of it. But I have this weird thing that Steve's heard me talk about now. City have 3 losses this year. I think I was on City for all 3 of those losses. And I think like they've got played off the park in all 3 of those losses, like not scoring goals, getting bossed around by Tottenham, Aston Villa 2 weeks ago, who didn't win a game their first 6 games or something like that. So I can't get that out of my mind. And you talked about Haaland, who obviously is a absolute menace. He's got 70% of their goals this year, or close to it, right? 60 something percent of their goals this year. So they need offense from elsewhere at some point. Do they need it this week to get by this Liverpool side? I don't know. But it's creeping in the back of my mind. And I've taken City every time they've been around kind of that even money number, right? We've seen a couple minus 110s. We've seen minus 120s. We've seen plus 110s. I've taken them every time. I just don't know if they're that team yet. I just think Liverpool is less of that team based on what we've seen. They just don't look comfortable together yet. So very long way of me saying that I think I'm with you guys on City in this one. I'd be really cautious about goals. I think the total's really, really high. And City's defense is good. So, I mean, you almost have to bank on Poole scoring too to hit one of these totals. And I don't know if they do it.
Yeah, I think the over 3.5 is a bit high. Like you said. And Holland, I looked it up, 13 goals of their 20. So 65% of their league goals scored by Erling Haaland. And I happen to be on a Sofa Score player card. He was 60 million euros. Like that now is a bargain, right? You see what Liverpool paid for Wirtz and these guys this summer, and it's
What
like,
they pay
wow.
for Ekitike? It had to be around that.
Ekitike had to be more, I think, and then obviously Isak was even more than that. Like that is
How many goals does he have? Is he even healthy? I don't even know what's going on with him.
Isak is listed as out. I know he
Okay.
missed yesterday. He's listed as out. Ekitike was 95 million euros, right? And Isak was more than that. So that just shows, like, I know the market obviously increases year after year, but to get Haaland and the player he is for 60 million looks like a steal nowadays. I mean, the guy's got 13 goals in 10. And he's got another 5 and 4 in the Champions League. Yeah, I mean, who's going to stop him? It sucks because you can't bet him really. He's minus 145. You're not going to bet a goal scorer at minus 145, really.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're right. I think the total is high. Yeah.
This sounds so weird to say. Like, I usually, stay away from goal scorers as soon as they go into the minus money, right? But with him being the offense and for him being as prolific as he is, I mean, is minus 145, like minus 150, that's 60% of the time. Are you like, I would bet that he scores in 60% of his matches, right? Like,
absolutely.
That actually might be a decent bet, or at the very least, you could parlay that with whatever side you like here, but I don't think minus 145. I think this is a rare occurrence. Like, I wouldn't even lay that with Messi, right? But like, they are so focused with that attack going through Haaland, and he is such a strong finisher that I'd bet that he scores in 60% of his matches. Sure.
And if you think if he scores, they win, then you're looking at plus 150 to parlay with the money line. So
you know what? I am going to take Haaland first goal scorer and parlaying it with the first half money line. That's going to be my sweat of the Premier League.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's so funny you guys say that, and I agree. I look at it and like, what's more likely? Does Haaland score a goal at minus 150, or does City score 2 goals at minus 180? Like, you'd almost bet on Haaland.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's better value.
Is there or both? I mean, is there a situation where City scores 2 goals and he doesn't score one of them?
Probably unlikely.
Just trying to make a price comparison.
Probably unlikely.
Bet it, but it's pretty wild what he's doing. So props to him, props to them. Keep him healthy as long as you can. I was looking at some player props for this one that were interesting. I think the shot props are in play depending on who is starting, right? I don't know what the formation is going to be like today, but Wirtz shot on target plus 150, Rodri plus 200, Bernardo Silva plus 250, Szoboszlai plus 140, the guy that takes free kicks. I don't know, man. Those are some pretty enticing lines. Anything you guys see other than Haaland to score that jumps out at you?
Rodri's is interesting. Player props is look, you can only focus on so many markets, right? When you're into betting, and as soon as you start getting into soccer and start adding leagues, like the more leagues you add, the less markets in those leagues you can really stay on top of. But player props, I would want to see a lineup, right? And does City, when they post their starting, do they post formation too? The Rodri's one is the interesting one there, I think, at 2-1. I don't think the market's quite adjusted well enough to his contribution yet. I think he's still trying to find that stride, coming off of last year. But
definitely,
So I think that the market, I think, is still waiting for him to be a part of that, to be that chance creator from the midfield there. And I think there's opportunity there at 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's a solid number at 2-1.
Yeah.
So if he starts, I'm definitely considering that bad boy. We got Eduardo in the chat agreeing with us here. The draw looks interesting. Liverpool, no draws in the EPL yet. So an away game against City coming out with a point, I think is probably decent for them. Like, I mean, to your point, Steve, they don't want to fall too far behind Arsenal yet, but not a terrible result just if you take it at face value.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that's the caveat, right? Is the table, right? Because normally a draw for these sides head to head is a terrible result.
Yep.
But when you look at the table, that's when it becomes like, we draw here, and most likely Arsenal beats Sunderland. Then you're staring at like an 8-point gap, 7-point gap. So
for sure. Anything else for this game, or do you guys want to just quickly go through any other bets we may like for the week in EPL?
Yeah, no, that's it. And to be honest, this is one of those rare situations, I think, where you have a match with two big teams, but there's still an angle to be played, right? Usually when you have matches that involve like two great teams, it's hard to find like any value or angles here. But I think the recent poor form of Liverpool and seeing City get back into reliable form, I think it offers an opportunity here that you wouldn't otherwise get between teams like this in other parts of the season.
Well put. And, Steve will tell you, he hears me say in pretty much every heavyweight matchup that we feature, I'll always take the underdog. I'll always take the spread. Like, give me Liverpool double chance, right? I don't necessarily care about the form, the situation. Not much between these teams. They're neck and neck in the standings. One bounce, one kick of the ball, one refereeing decision. Underdog kind of has the edge or as good of a chance. I don't know if I could do that in this game. I really don't. I think if Scotty were here, he would talk us off of Liverpool as Liverpool come out with like a 3-0 win.
Yeah. It's usually his angle.
I think it's one of those, a lot of times when you have matchups like this, you're like, I'm getting a double chance with a good team, but like, how upset are you going to be when City wins this by a goal? And you're like, that was pretty obvious, right? Like, whether or not you have the conviction to lay it with City, I think it's difficult to take that half a goal with Liverpool, because like I would be upset with myself if I took Liverpool and then they lose by a goal or two, and it's like, you know what, that was probably likely to happen.
And the other thing,
I think that's where I'm at too with this match, just based on form. I think exactly what Tim said, right? Like, normally you're like, double chance Liverpool draws probably a likely outcome, but I don't feel that in the way they're entering this match.
No.
Listen, follow the odds is the other thing we always say, right? There's not realistically much between these teams. Yes, one team is maybe a little bit better. Yes, they're at home, but is Liverpool really a plus 265 to City's minus 110? I don't think so. I'll take the 110 all day. Just go where the odds lead you. So,
yeah.
All right. Thoughts for this one? I mean, Coach, you want to? I don't know if you got anything that you picked out. I got a few in the Premier League that I kind of penciled, and then we could get into some future talk.
Yeah, I was looking at Spurs United. Spurs, I feel like obviously being at home has the advantage here. They're drawing no bets minus 105. Obviously United will be more rested, not playing in Europe during the midweek, but Spurs is coming off that 4-0 win over Copenhagen. And also their team total at plus 105 is intriguing to me, just because United gives up goals. They play a lot of over matches. Like, even if, United can come in here and get like a draw or something, I feel like it's going to be a scoring draw. I feel like it might be multi-goals. But I do like that draw no bet, because Spurs doesn't concede so much, right? They've only conceded 8 in 10. I know they're hard to trust at times, and we've talked about it on the show, but, I threw the Spurs bet out to you and Scotty in the group chat for the Wednesday or Tuesday match. And, Scotty poo-pooed it because, he does not trust Spurs. And it ended up being my easiest bet of the whole midweek.
They went down a man and scored 2 goals.
Yeah,
after
exactly. When they went, I think I had a minus a goal is what it was. It was Spurs minus a goal. And they were up 2-0. I'm like, okay, they got the red card. I'm praying I could at least push this bet. And they went and got 2 more and down a man, like you said. So I think they're coming in with a little bit of momentum here. And I kind of like them here at home against United. Even though United has been getting more results lately, I feel like.
And that's okay. So there's my question to you guys. I don't know what to make of United either. I mean,
and they're favorites here on the road, right?
Has he turned it around? I mean, you're talking about, okay, a win over Sunderland. Sunderland's been pretty good. A win over Liverpool, a win over Brighton, and then they, drop a stinker against Forest. So
Yeah,
Who are they?
they bested not by much, but they did have the better XG there, so it's a bit of an unlucky loss by a hair.
I was on United. I mean, full
Yeah, I
transparency.
also was on United there. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they look, other than going into Liverpool and getting the 2-1 win, right? Manchester United has not traveled particularly well. And that's actually the only thing that would give me pause on not siding with them going into Tottenham. Manchester United, I think, is still I think they might still be a little disrespected by the market. I think that the market still associates them with this like dumpster fire, can't finish top half team that they were last year, and I don't think that they're quite that this season. I think them being the slight favorite, I think the market's realizing that they have a higher upside, or actually no, I'm saying that they have a higher floor, I should say. But I think what concern is they are on the road, and Tottenham might have the higher upside, right? And so that's what would keep me off of Manchester United. But I definitely wouldn't talk anybody out of Tottenham either, because they do have some momentum here, and United has shown that they're struggling on the road to get results.
It's a good enough reason for me to stay away from this game altogether. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those. I mean, look, you can do this with any bet. So you can make fun of me all you want for saying this, but like, it's still also one of these where like I would take one side and the other side would win. I'd be like, well, of course they did, right? Like,
right.
like, you know, like, am I really all that surprised? But I agree that, like, you know, Tottenham should. I mean, the draw no bet's probably a good spot here. I mean, is Manchester United really going to like have their victory on the road going into Tottenham this week? Probably not, right? Yeah. So protect yourself from the draw, I think, is a good plan there.
Always, I will take it every time it's offered to me.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Everton plus 110 at home against Fulham? I am like Mr. Anti-Fulham, so I don't know that I'm pro Everton, but I just think Fulham's terrible.
These are teams that I don't know what it is about these teams, but year after year, I can never feel like I have the right thumb or my right finger on the pulse on these teams. Like, I can't quite find the conviction I'm looking for. I mean, neither of them are in all that great a form. You look at the stats match. I mean, I guess if you're looking at underlying stats, Everton at home, 1.59 xg, 1.28 xg against, and then the other side, it's essentially flipped for Fulham, right? So they're 1.26 xg on the road, their xg against is 1.51, so slight lean to Everton here, but the market shows that, right? The market's showing that there's a slight lean, so I actually think that this is properly priced. The total's a little low, but like, you're not going to catch me taking it over with these two teams either.
No way.
I mean, I don't know. It's gone over the 5 times of the past 6 in Fulham matches, but like, which side of these two teams is reliably going to get 2 goals, right?
Exactly.
Like, that's where I would struggle with that. So the total feels low, but I'm not rushing to bet it, and the line seems right here.
Yeah, I like Everton. I think they get back on track.
Okay. I think that the what game was I just looking at? Forest and Leeds. You know, Leeds is an interesting team because their numbers might suggest to you that they can compete, but they're struggling to do so. But Forest is no walk in the park either, right? Forest, do you guys know how many wins Forest has? It's exactly one, and it was the opening game of the season. This is a weird look with Chris Wood not being available for this match, but I kind of like the over here. It's at 2.5. These are two teams that see higher XG in their matches. Their Nottingham Forest is averaging their games are averaging 3 at home. Leeds matches on the road are averaging 3. And both of these teams concede goals. Yeah. The question is, which of these teams are going to score the goals, right? This is the trickiest part in handicapping XG and XG against, is when you have two teams that maybe have higher XG against, it's like, okay, now is that going to turn into the other team getting chances against them, right? And it's difficult to handicap that. But even with Chris Wood out, I think this game could open up, especially with a Leeds team that I think there's some Leeds games where I feel like they're just kind of going on, like they're just like let's just try to score here, and if we end up getting scored against, so be it. And I think Forest, I think it's still important to remember that they still have a good number of the pieces that were successful last year, right? And that is an experienced set of players that can put it together. They're just, I think I mentioned this before you started the stream. I just think that one too many tournaments is too much for this team to handle, endurance wise, strategy wise. Like they just weren't ready. They get promoted and then boom, all of a sudden like they're good. And then you add one more tournament and they just can't handle it, right? And so, but I think that they're still a quality side. I just don't think they can keep up with the amount of games and trainings and preparing and stuff like that. Chris Wood out's not great, but I like the over 2.5 here. It won't be a big bet, but I will have some liability there.
No, we say it all the time. Relegation 6-pointer, man. Both of these teams are going to be going for it. They could both use 3 points. Both are giving up 2 goals a game, as you said. And I'm kind of in on Leeds as like an entertaining, fun team to watch. I said it last week. If you told me after 10 weeks of the season that they would have 3 wins and double-digit points, I don't know that I would have believed it. But here we are. So I think Leeds probably have what it takes. They can get some goals in this one. I see an over 2.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Another one I was looking at a potential over 2.5 is Palace and Brighton.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? -135.
I at -135. I like it. That might be as far as I would go. Let me pull up the. Yeah, I mean Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace 2.6 average at home for goals in their games. Brighton averaging 3.4 goals in their, like the total goals in their away matches. Both of these teams can definitely put up chances, and Brighton sure knows how to concede goals when they're on the road. So, and Crystal Palace has a really well-formed attack. And if Brighton's going to concede goals on the road, there's no reason to believe that Crystal Palace can't get the 2, and then at that point you're just looking for a third, whether it's Brighton or Crystal Palace getting their own. So, I can dig that for sure.
The thing about Palace is like when they score, they score. You know what I mean? Like it's not, they don't just put one in and thanks for showing up. 2-3 goals every one of their wins.
And then the team total comes into play too, the way you're describing it, Tim, because their team total is -105. So
that's probably what I would do.
Then you would negate Brighton even having to score a goal.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I would do. And now that you say that, I think I'm going to put that in the account. Over 1.5 at -105. I think that's a bet. Brighton who have they played on the road? That kind of matters. Everton, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Wolverhampton. If Manchester United can put up 4 on them when Brighton's on the road, I think Crystal Palace can handle that too. So yeah, I would take the over 1.5 Crystal Palace total goals. But yeah, you're right. You don't have to worry about Brighton scoring.
I like it. All right, I got one last one for you guys.
All right,
Newcastle. Pick them, draw no bet, -130 at Brentford. I think they're evenly matched, but I felt like Newcastle really was finding the form. And then of course they lost to West Ham. But I think they bounced back today, if I'm not mistaken. And I think they'll do it again. They didn't have to travel, so I'm not super concerned about that. They've been good.
You're saying sorry, which side are you making a case for?
Newcastle.
Underlying metrics would show that Newcastle on the road has a slight edge on Brentford at home. So I would tend to agree, but I think that slight edge might be reflected. I mean, it would be draw no bet. I don't know if I would.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to go with draw no bet, but I see that for sure. I mean, their losses are nothing. Newcastle's losses are not, West Ham. That's not a great loss, right? But like Brighton at home are punchy, right? And losing to Arsenal is nothing to be ashamed of. So, I mean, it's not like this team has gone up against some decent teams and have done okay. Brentford at home. losing the City, winning Liverpool. Oh my god. That's yeah. I mean, it would be draw no bet, Newcastle or nothing. But I will happily cheer in your bet for you.
I think Bob makes a good point in the chat here. Arsenal win to 0 has been very consistent. Sunderland, not the biggest scoring team. I know they're at home. Even money though. I think that I cashed Arsenal.
Arsenal's only given up 3 goals all year. So I'm with you, Bob. Good shout.
Yeah, I think even money is a really good number too. I know it's on the road, but yeah.
You guys are gonna bet against the 4th placed team in Sunderland. Is it? I mean, I know we haven't gotten into futures yet, but what Sunderland is still 5-1 to finish top half, and I have to admit, I keep on telling myself to bet it before that number gets any lower.
For top half, that's not bad, man.
I might.
They've got some room. Yeah, they've got a little margin for error.
Yeah. Top half. Sunderland's 5-1. Yeah. Look, I know it's crazy because like if we're in January and all of a sudden they're in 12th, like how surprised are any of us? I guess not, but that's a long ways to fall, right? And like you need the likes of Brighton and Chelsea and Tottenham to like remain good, right? To like continue to put up results. Aston Villa, I think 5-1. If you completed this season 6 times, would Sunderland finish top half once to break even? I think they do, right? So
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, what do they realistically need? 8 more wins to make that happen?
Yeah.
8 out of 28 maybe gets them there.
The only argument against it is the difference between 11th and 4th, or 11th and 3rd right now is still only 3 points, right? So there's one game difference between almost half the board, right? So that's the only argument against it. But that's like, are there any teams in the bottom half that are going to shoot up the, no. Newcastle, or maybe if Newcastle gets it together, but other than that, yeah, like no one in the bottom half, I think, is really going to make a strong surge to top half. So, Sunderland has to just kind of outpace, or at least keep on pace with the teams below them, and just hope that no one 12th or below makes a run. And I think it's doable. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to feel like I'm either going to feel like an idiot for having done it, or feel like an absolute legend for betting on Sunderland to finish top half here. It's gonna be good. But like if you look at the people like Brentford is plus 190. Like, do we believe that they're gonna I mean, I know they're in 12th and they're plus 190. Sunderland's in 4th and they're plus 500. I know the perception of their quality is different, but if you really think about what you're getting here,
Sunderland all day. But what is Brentford hasn't in like I don't know. They haven't impressed me for years. They have 5 losses. They give up more goals than they score. What tells me they're going to jump into the top half of the table?
Yeah. And at the same time, hold off Villa, who's 11th, who's probably got a better chance to jump into the top half than them, and possibly Newcastle in 13th, who's a point behind them. Yeah. I was looking over the last couple of years. You had 56 points, 49 points, 52 points to finish 10th. So they've got some, they got to probably win another 10 games, Sunderland, roughly, depending on how many they draw and steal points here and there. But I think to Tim's points, like how many teams from the bottom half are going to jump them over the course of the season? I think because you only need to stay in the top 10. So
5 plus 500, man. I think that's too good of a number to pass up.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
I came into this the stream with like 1 or 2 bets, and I think I'm going to leave with about 12.
That's the beauty of it, man. Anybody could talk me into or out of any bet any given week. That's why I love it.
Yeah, like we talked to a lot of bets. Top here's so this is something top 5. Top 6. Crystal Palace is plus 250. They're currently sitting in 9th. Like I said, there's only there's a 3-point difference between where Palace is now and Manchester City in 2nd. So it only takes a couple of good results for them to be a part of that. We've talked about how this team has a pretty decent attack and are an all-around good squad. Do we think that they can make the jump over the course of the season? Can they improve 3 spots?
So I was going to throw out Aston Villa plus 500 to make top 6.
Top 6?
Man, you've got plus 500 on Hard Rock.
Yeah.
It's plus 350 on DraftKings.
Believe it or not, once in a while I get a good line.
What do you say? Top 6 for Villa?
Yeah.
It's plus 280 at FanDuel.
Gee.
Is it really plus 500 at Hard Rock?
Uh-huh.
Hard Rock only takes like a few dollars from me per bet, so I'm probably not going to bother. But if you got a clean account, I'd happily take stake some of that bet. That's a good bet.
I think one of those two teams is absolutely worth a shout.
Yeah.
I think Bill's starting to find their form a bit too, right? And until they lost that match to Liverpool last week, they were starting to get going a bit.
Oh, what's
yeah, and they looked pretty decent.
Top 6 bet 365 has Villa at plus 450, so it's a little closer to what you're seeing. Plus 500 is a good. That's a good number. I mean, yeah, they're in a good run of form. And like you said, like it seems like it's a lot of numbers when you look at just the ranking, but when you look at the points, like it's not far, right? Like that distance is not far right now.
Right.
From week to week, you're going to see people shift 2, 3, 4, 5 different spots in the rankings based off results. So I dig it, actually.
What would you rather do? Take that, or do you believe Man City at plus 400 or Liverpool at plus 700 could come back and win the league?
To win the I already have Man City plus 400. That's one of my that's one of the couple of futures bets that I have. Just for let's say they are not the anybody can mess around and beat this team like they were last year. Like this is the solid City team that we expect out of them. So I already have plus 420, I think is what I got like 10 days ago or something like that. The other future I have is Wolves to get relegated. I think at like close to 2-1. I think it might be plus 90 or something like that.
Yeah, I think we were in that at like plus 175 or something like that early in the year.
Yeah.
So that's feeling pretty good.
I mean, I don't know if there was a more obvious bet on the board than that one. It was like this team's not good, and they did nothing to improve. They ship away their best player and did nothing to get better. And it's like
fired their coach.
Yeah, like this team will be playing in the championship next year.
Yeah. So Tim, just outside of those, I mean, we just kind of threw ourselves into it, but anything else that you have that you placed like preseason that you're excited about? Anything you got wrong? Anything you're looking at? We talked about Sunderland, obviously. Is anything else just glaringly surprising you about the league through, a quarter of the way?
I will say I'm surprised that Nottingham Forest is like currently facing the drop. Like that, what a elevator ride they took in the last 3 seasons, right? Regression, sure. Like bottom half was a astute bet for Nottingham Forest. A soccer handicapper that you and I both know, Nick, that I really respect. Part of his handicap year to year is looking at teams that who were in European tournaments who are no longer in European tournaments, so their training schedule opens up, and then vice versa, like who didn't play in Europe, and then he looks at where the opportunities are, like, okay, who now has the congested tournament schedule, who may suffer in league play that I can put on bottom half, and whose training schedule just opened up and they're probably going to be better in league play that I can take in top half. And he's very successful with it. And so Nottingham Forest was a pretty obvious one. But like for them to be facing the drop here is pretty unreal. And if Burnley, Leeds, Fulham, like those teams, while they're not particularly good, they're competitive enough to maybe hold their spot, right? Like I think Forest fans should be legitimately concerned that this could be where they sit for the majority of the season if Chris Wood, returning from injury, doesn't give them a better run of form. This is a troubled spot for Forest, which is upsetting because last season the market could not adjust to how good Forest was. Like the first half of last season, Forest was a bet on match day after match day because the market refused to adjust to how good they were. But the market has definitely adjusted how bad they are quickly this season. I think that's a surprising thing. You asked me I am surprised that there isn't a team that is that is being undervalued based on their quality. Sunderland's underlying metrics aren't good enough for them to be undervalued in the market. Like they're succeeding, but you do the handicap and you're like, well, I don't know. I still really can't justify, the bet here, despite their success. I'm yet to really find a team where I'm like, those teams where you go straight to their line. You're like, let me see if the market is still disrespecting them. I don't think there's a team like that right now. City had that for the first month or two where people thought they were still going to be beatable. Not the case. Manchester United, I think, is the closest we're getting to that. But the Tottenham match has shown that the market has caught up to Man U being a solid side again.
No, fair enough. The only other side I would make an argument for, I think Chelsea's getting a little overvalued. I think we're routinely seeing minus 190s, minus 220s on a Chelsea team that's not won half of their games.
Yeah. With that being said, do you think the Wolves have a shot in the dark to pull the upset here? No,
absolutely not. If I was going to lay it, this would be the week.
How big is that number?
I just
plus 720 is what I'm seeing on Wolverhampton to get a win at Chelsea. Is Chelsea in a tournament this year?
Are
they in the conference?
No. They play. Yeah, they played yesterday. They played Karabag. Yeah, so they're in Champions League.
They are in Champions League. Yeah. Okay.
Karabag plus 1.5. Easy. You want the team that covers at home every single week in and week out in the Champions League. You try to fly to Azerbaijani mountains and get a result. Very, very, very difficult.
That's a stellar. That's a great handicap.
I think I got him plus 130 at plus 1.5 yesterday, and I also had him in a parlay at plus 3.5 on the spread, because it was a playable parlay piece. So
this Chelsea match is sneaky under if it goes up a little bit closer to 3, because Chelsea may rotate hosting such a bad squad like this, and Wolverhampton
scoring for Wolves.
Yeah. So 2 3/4 is probably fair, but it is juiced to the over. If this gets a little closer to a fair 3, I might take the under, because is that game getting the 4 goals? I don't know if it is.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Anything else for you, Coach?
No. Should we jump over to MLS?
Let's do it. So I like to call my buddy Tim a subject matter expert here. Great podcast, Double Chance Pod. That he started off with Nate and now is with Tom. So 2 great co-hosts that you've been fortunate enough to be with all year.
Yes, sir.
You guys, super fun show, traditional podcast method. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. I'm hopeful if you watch us here, you've seen me on there once or twice. But Tim, tell everybody why they should be watching MLS. Forget about the games that we're going to get into. Yeah. What are they missing out on if they're not watching MLS that intellectuals like us have figured out?
So MLS is a fun product to watch. Look, you're clearly not watching, Premier League level play, but you are watching an elevated play, right? There are players in MLS now who could play in Europe, right? For competitive teams. Whether that's top 5 or maybe, the league below it. There was, and I've told you, Nick, I think the last time you're on the stream or on the podcast, I talked about one thing I love about MLS is there are matches now where you have a player who could be playing in Europe and then a player who just came up from USL, right? And those 2 players are on the pitch together, right? And how often are you gonna, it's, I guess you can sort of liken it maybe it's the EFL championship, where there's players that potentially could be playing in the Premier League, but there's also a player who recently just came from League 2. You know what I mean? I think MLS is right there on par with EFL championship. If you find the championship entertaining, or the comp, I think you would find MLS entertaining. We have Lionel Messi. I don't know if anybody's caught that news. The best player of my lifetime plays in Miami for Major League Soccer. Son Heung-min plays in LA, he could still be playing in the Premier League if he wanted to, and he chose to play in MLS. I think that should say something about the level of play that's in MLS. There's still salary situations that make parity in MLS a thing, less, more so than you would see in the top 5 leagues. So I think it's great. I've gotten more into MLS just because more people are familiar with MLS. I also love USL and NWSL. I just have less people to talk to about that because most people don't follow those leagues. But I mean, like my sweatshirt, Steph LeBay, former goalkeeper for the Washington Spirit. I very much enjoy the NWSL as well. MLS playoffs. Look, MLS is quirky, right? Like we love making fun of them, and we don't want them to change, right? We have playoffs, which Europe doesn't, so that's fun. And not only do we have playoffs, our round 1 is a best of 3, because why not? All the other sports have best of 3, best of 5, best of 7. Why not soccer, right? So what's really cool is this week is the game 3 of the best of 3. So from here on out, it's winner go home for these teams, which I think is going to bring some pretty strong competition. And it involves a lot of good teams. I mean, look, it's easy, I think, for MLS deniers to look at MLS and be like, this league can't be taken seriously. Look at Evander Evander, Messi, Stone. These are all the Moeller. These are the players playing in the MLS playoffs right now. They're good players. Look, I understand why people maybe they can't get into MLS, but people who try to poo-poo MLS, I'm like, you're not really paying attention to the quality of play that's being had. And don't tell me that you can really get riled up for when Wolves and Burnley go head to head. You know what I mean? Like it's not like Europe has fantastic competition week in and week out, right? So I'm a big fan of American soccer. I love the season of American soccer. Actually, and I'm one of the few people I think that doesn't want America to go to the European schedule. I like the summertime schedule, mostly because it gives me round the clock, around the calendar soccer. But it's Columbus, Cincinnati under. That's a look that I have this week. I think that's going to be a tight match. I think that Cincinnati's going to hold it down and win. It's a winner. Look, they got the 4 goals only because Cincinnati, was down a man, and they ended up pulling Denke, and it took that for them to get the 4 goals. I have the under 3 in Cincinnati and Columbus. I'm also where am I? I'm taking Nashville at 80-1. By the way, I don't know why double chance was just recorded earlier today. It's going to drop tomorrow. Nashville is 80-1 at Circa right now, and if they beat Miami, and then if Columbus manages to upset Cincinnati, Nashville would actually host that match against Columbus, which is actually pretty wild. There's a really cool path of Nashville upsetting Miami and then hosting playoff matches further into the season. So I'm actually going to put a little bit on Nashville 80-1 and let that be my Nashville liability. Miami laid flat in their last match. I don't know how that happened, and they're going to be without Luis Suarez. Look, all it takes is Jordi Alba to feed Lionel Messi, right? For Miami to win 3-1 again. But we can't forget that Sam Sturridge is sitting on the other side in a yellow kit, and Hani Mukhtar is a former MVP. We can't act like he isn't a quality player, right? So I'm taking a flyer there with Nashville.
And they've had Miami's number overall.
Yeah.
The last couple of years.
It's a cool look. We have to wait 15 days for the next round of the MLS playoffs because MLS doesn't know how to schedule their season. We have to wait 15 days for the next round of MLS to happen. But when that round happens, we're looking at LA playing Vancouver. I mean, how great is that game going to be? We're looking at presumably Seattle hosting Portland or San Diego. Like, how fun is that going to watch? Either another derby with Portland and Seattle, or potentially this expansion team hosting this playoff juggernaut that is Seattle. I think that if you're willing to get into MLS, it's really easy to get into MLS. You just have to be willing to, decide that American soccer is actually good.
And it's been a fun betting league. Like, I don't get as into it, but Nick and I definitely threw together some parlays and some plays as the season wore on. And a lot of overs, right, which is always fun, similar to Bundesliga in that sense. And you could definitely make some fun plays in the league. And when you're watching these matches, and playing these overs, like, that's also exciting because you get a lot of end-to-end action in these matches. I wanted to ask you, because you obviously follow the league closely. I'm looking at the futures.
Yeah.
To me, like, when I see value based on how they played earlier in the season, at least, and when I was following the league and betting it, FC Cincinnati at plus 1,400 seems like a pretty good number on them as an MLS Cup contender.
I would agree. The only, I think the reason why they're not shorter odds is they would presumably play Miami next.
Yeah, it's the path, right?
Yeah, it's the path. And then, right, if you look at just a probability, they would Cincinnati would beat Columbus, play Miami, and then probably play Philly, who was the best team in the East, right? So it's more about, but I said it plenty of times on Double Chance, and I will continue to die on a hill. Other than their game against Miami, Cincinnati would probably have the best player on the pitch in any match that they play for the rest of the playoffs, right? With Evander. So Kubo got a red card, right? So he's out. Evander is actually on a yellow card suspension. He's one away from a yellow card suspension. That's something to look out for. If they win and he gets a yellow, I'm probably gonna fade Cincinnati. I just gave away that edge, but that's okay. Probably gonna fade Cincinnati the following week. But I think the one that really that Vancouver is shorter odds against LAF or than LAFC in the futures market, and I think that's where they're a little. I think it's where the market might be a little off, only because that LA side, that defense has gotten so much better than it was over the summer, and that attack, you just cannot. I hope that game's a shootout, and that like, that's all I want. I have a lot of exposure on LAFC at 10-1. I know that Nick here has a really good bet on Vancouver. It'll be one of the few times I root against Nick's bets, because I want my LAFC bet to get through. But I mean, Son and Boanga, how great are they to watch together? I mean, it's so fun to watch. Yeah. The futures market in MLS is interesting because when you go into the season, there's a lot it's a lot of it is just prior success. Like, it takes a while before a number to really move off of team adjustment, right? A great example is Charlotte was 60-1 to at the beginning of the season. It's like, this is such a quality side. Like, what is the market not understanding about, they added Pep Biel, they added Zaha, and it's like, and the number didn't move, and it's like, and the other thing I love about betting MLS is in NFL and NBA, like, there are things that are just baked into the lines, right? Weather, injuries, all this sort of stuff, right? Like, you get confirmation that a big player is out. Well, that's already in the line. It might not be baked in the line in an MLS market, and I think it's really easy when you're used to betting bigger market stuff like top four sports. It's really easy to just assume that the normal stuff is already baked into the line. It may not be. You can do really well in MLS if you just pay attention to player availability. Like, if you are tracking who's like, suspensions, international duty. I mean, that's one. I mean, it's like the market has no idea that Dennis Boanga is going to go play for his national team, and it's like the market does not know. So there's a lot of opportunity in MLS that way as well, from a betting perspective.
Couldn't agree more. And guys, please check out Tim's show if you haven't. The other thing I'll say, the one thing I took away, you said it early on this year. I don't remember if it was your preview episode or if it was just one of the run of the mill ones, because Steve had mentioned, it's an overs league, right? And it is. Early on you might catch some 2.5s. By week 4, week 5, the number's 3.5 pretty much for every single game. And I think I always chalked it up to, oh, the defenses aren't that great, as young players, goalies that you've never heard of. Okay, that's why you're getting goals. But the point that you made that I so much subscribe to since I heard it is like, it is playoff league. Half these teams are going to make the playoffs. So there's really no incentive to hold out for a draw. There's no incentive to sit back. There's always a reason to go for it and get 3 points because, you just need to be one of the top, 6, 7, 8 teams in your conference. And that's what makes it so damn entertaining. I think, Steve and I, we had season tickets to the Red Bulls for 6 years, 5, 6 years.
At least, yeah.
And
won the Supporter Shield twice and didn't.
I don't think they raised
playoffs.
prices on us once in 5 years. I think we paid the same we did year 1 as we did year 5. I mean,
$400 to sit in the front row, right?
We were kids, dude. We were, young 20s. We didn't have cash like that, so it was really a lot of fun. And Bob is making a good point. I mean, get it off of Apple. I think that's a decent next step. I think once the World Cup comes and next year, it's going to explode. I really do believe that.
Absolutely. Probably the most infuriating part about being an MLS supporter is the fact that it's on Apple. Apple technically has a way that bars can, like sports bars and stuff, can get the feed. But it's like, why are you making them put so much work into putting, like, they're not going to put in work to show an MLS match, right? Yeah. Like, if they can flip the channel for you, they're going to. But like, you can't go to a bar manager and be like, hey, do you mind going through this process to make sure the one time I'm in here, you can put on LAFC for me? Like, like they're not going to bother with that. So when I want to watch MLS, I can't go to the bar to watch it. I have to stay home because I know that it's not going to be available at any venue I want to go to. And that's one of the more infuriating parts about MLS right now. So I absolutely agree. Get it off Apple.
All right, here's my last question for you. Minnesota United plus 200 money line at home against Seattle. I think Seattle's a better squad. I think Seattle's more proven. I said it to you last time I was on the show. I think their legs are going to fall off at some point. This is a team that played in CONCACAF Champions League. This is a team that played in the Nations League. It's a team that, is in the playoffs pretty much every year. Like, can Minnesota get it done at home, or do you think Seattle just takes care of them?
I mean, Seattle should have won the first match. Right. I mean, they had nearly 2.5 XG. Minnesota, I think, had like maybe just over 1, or just under 1. And that went to penalties. Minnesota, they're fortunate to benefit from a penalty sequence that went in their favor. So they come away with game 1. Seattle just absolutely dominated that first half. They were lucky to get a couple goals back and stay in that match. But look, it's in Minnesota, and you never want to doubt a team when they're hosting the match. But the Seattle team, I think, is just a little bit better. And as Nate mentioned on the show on Double Chance a couple weeks ago, I mean, Minnesota kind of showed their hand when they decided to ship off their star striker and the difference maker on that team. No offense to Kelvin Yoboa, but he has not been healthy enough to be the difference maker for that team. It was all Tanny, and they look, it's part of the business, but this was like, they had a team that could have made a deep run, and I'm really surprised that they chose business over making a real run, especially in the West that was wide open, right? Like the East, it's like 2 or 3 teams, and it's like I don't see much beyond that. But like there's like 5 or 6 teams at least going into the playoffs. There was 5 or 6 teams you're like, this team could make a run. They could and it's probably Philly, Miami, Cincinnati in the East, right? No offense to Charlotte and North in NYC, but in the West it was like San Diego, LA, Seattle, Minnesota. It's like Dallas limped in. You're like, I could see Dallas, pulling off an upset here. I think that Minnesota made a big mistake not going after the final here, or at least a deep playoff run and shipping off Tanny.
Well put.
Yeah. What else? Is that it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. San Diego, do you think they still got the magic? There's only a couple games, so we'll just get your thoughts on all of them. Might as well. We got you here.
Yeah, no. I think, look, if you look at this Portland side on paper, Nick, if I showed you all the players that play for Portland, and I didn't tell you what their record or their form was this season, I was like, look at this team. You'd be like, that's a good team, right? There's talent on that team. I think the full goal is too much. I'm going to be on Portland plus the 1. San Diego is good. Portland's just so scrappy. right?
Yep.
And San Diego, who knows what like sort of frame of mind they're in after like probably should have had this series in the bag, and they don't, and now they have to, fend off the. Portland has they barely made it into the playoffs, and then they scrapped together to win the play-in game, and then they scrapped, they get a 90+8-minute goal. So like clearly San Diego, right, like has like the edge here. I think a full goal though is just a little too much for how scrappy Portland is, and that's the talented side.
Definitely. What do you think? Team total +175. Over 1.5
for Portland.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're winning this, I think they're winning it because they win 2-1, right? So, yeah, I think I like the +175 because if you do believe that they're going to be competitive, I don't think this is a 1-1 game or a 1-0 game, right? So, I mean, at +175, you're looking at 40-30. I mean, do like 35% of the time are they going to score 2 goals in this match? Probably. So
I just like to throw options out there.
Yeah, they're
not twisting you around.
I like it. I guess where my hesitation is in these game 3s, it is winner
It's gonna be
go
tighter.
home,
It's gonna be
right?
tighter.
So it's gonna play a little tighter. Portland's gonna want to play tighter too, right? Keep Dreyers, at bay, stuff like that. So
plus a goal. I'm with you. I'll
Yeah.
ride that one for sure.
Okay.
Coach, anything for you? You want to quickly run through Serie A?
Yeah, we can do that quick, I think.
I had 1 or 2 bets I wanted to bring up. Let me see what I got. You go
So,
first if you got.
Well,
something.
you're getting yours. Let me ask you this one. So Genoa, Fiorentina both fired their managers this week. Fiorentina, I don't think is officially hired a manager yet.
They promoted the youth coach.
Oh, did they promote the youth?
I don't know if they
coach?
promoted him, but he coached them today.
Interim, yeah. They're negotiating with Vinoli, right, to get him out of his Torino contract. I think I read. So that being said, Genoa did hire my boy Daniele De Rossi. They're hosting this match. They're playing head to head. How do you like the new manager mounts at -115 on the draw no bet?
No, I was looking at Fiorentina -120, draw no bet. I was also looking at Fiorentina +170. I was looking at that before I knew what happened with Genoa.
And I think
had such a bad
what happened
result
with Fiorentina today. Yeah, I was going to say
if they don't win this game, they're like Nottingham Forest. With the exception of they've actually been in the same European competition for like the past 5 years. So that shouldn't have necessarily affected them. This is the team that finished 7th last year, 7th or 8th, whatever they were.
Yeah, I mean they qualified again.
They are in last place. They're in last fucking place. 0 wins. They look like shit in Conference League. Or how did they not win? I don't know. Genoa stink too. Genoa have 1 win. So like, how do they not?
In comparison, when you compare them with Forest, like Forest is newly relegated, promoted a couple years ago. Fiorentina is like a mainstay top half side in Serie A, generally top 7-ish.
We got our boys in the chat here. I think Johnny will hopefully side with me because he wants to. But I'm interested what anybody thinks about this game. I mean, it really truly is a toss-up of 2 awful teams. The draw is at +200. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Definition of relegation 6-pointer. Right?
I got it back Fiorentina. They're just a better team. Like they have better players. I'm sorry. They're not a better team because both of these teams suck. Fiorentina have the better roster. I have to back them in this one. I just have to.
This is a Sunday match.
I believe so. Yeah.
It's
Sunday early 9 a.m.
Let's do some completely uninformed handicapping.
You're about to see the 2 ugliest sets of metrics you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, brother. All right. Look, I don't know who's available for this. That is ugly. Holy smokes! Has Genoa not scored at home yet?
They may not have.
They may not have
5 goals all year.
Well, okay, so their XG at home is 1.4 with just under a goal on XG against. So their underlying metrics have shown that they should be better at home. Fiorentina, looking at just 1 XG at home with 1.5. The underlying metrics would suggest that Genoa has the is it Genoa? Is that how you pronounce it?
Genoa.
There we go. Not Italian. My apologies. What is it? A pick'em here. So if I just stumbled across this match and I was like, oh, I want to bet a bet in this, and I like looked at these underlying metrics, I would take the home side at draw no bet. but I also don't know anything about the teams besides the quality. That like that's just me looking at this really basic. Oh yeah, failed to score 100% of the time at home. My God,
there you have it.
That's playing. I don't know how good these teams are, but playing Juventus, Lazio.
Yep.
Parma. I don't know how good Parma is. That was a draw.
Terrible. All pretty uninspiring teams, quite honestly.
Yeah.
No, Genoa are bad, but Fiorentina have no wins. So like, I don't know. This will be the third time maybe I say that it's now or never, and it's been never every time. So
yeah, but again, that's like I'm not trying to talk you off. I'm just fun exercise of looking at a match blindly and being like, oh, what would I be compelled to do here?
I would suggest anybody probably stay away from it.
Yeah,
that would be my best.
That's probably That's probably the smart thing to do.
But I want to come back next week and say, hey, told you guys, Fiorentina.
All right.
All right, I got one for you guys. Napoli, Bologna, both teams to score plus 110.
I was just looking. I just pulled up the stats on this. Both teams. So Bologna has pretty good. I mean, 1.67 xG at home with only 1.8 xGA at home. Napoli's 1.8 on the road. I mean, both sides clearly creating chances in their respective splits here. The question is, is either defense too good to keep the other one from scoring? That's the question.
I don't think so.
Then I actually like that. That's
I kind of like the both teams to score there too, because I was having trouble picking a side here, and I think that is a nice angle, especially that you said plus 110.
Plus 110. Yep.
Yeah, that's a really good number.
I mean, the markets. I mean, with the goal with the total set at 2. I mean, the market's telling you essentially that, like, you know, it's going to be, you know, a 1 or no goals from either team, right? But the underlying metrics here would definitely suggest that both sides are going to be able to create chances. If you believe that neither side has a defense good enough to hold off the other side, then I think that's a great bet.
I dig it. And the other one I had here, I mean, I don't love it by any stretch of the imagination, but it just seems priced a little bit incorrectly to me. Cremonese double chance at Pisa is minus 135.
Yeah, I do think it's.
And Pisa have no wins.
Yeah, I do. I don't hate that. I know it's tomorrow. This is the Friday match. Cremonese has actually got some results this year. Pisa has not.
0
double
wins.
Chance. I don't hate it. I could definitely see a draw here.
I mean, through 10 games, no wins. If I like playing the I don't know anything about it game, what's wrong? What am I not seeing? Cremonese's looked kind of good. They have 12 goals in 12 matches. That's a lot for a newly promoted side. Newly promoted side.
I thought they were going to be bottom of the table. I thought Evan Pease were bottom of the table.
So did I.
Cremonese double chance. That's what you're looking at.
Yep.
Wait, what are you paying for that? I see it minus 156. How much juice do you like for that?
I got a minus 135 earlier in the day.
What?
Yeah.
Larry, you got the market agrees with you. Because if that's what you got early in the day, it's minus 156 now. So you got way ahead of that number. Yeah, so the market definitely agrees with you.
Yeah, I've got minus 160 on DraftKings.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, sorry, I gave it out then. Never mind, guys.
No, it's all right. I mean, your handicap is spot on. I mean, even catching a quarter goal if you wanted to is probably
yeah, that's what I would do.
Probably still good. I would even say at the total at 2.25 is probably too high. This probably should be 2, looking at these underlying metrics.
Yeah, it feels like a 2 game.
Does anybody score goals in this league?
No, absolutely not.
As I ran through the lines before we came on, it was like everything was leaning toward the under 2.5 almost, except for like 1 or 2 matches. Yeah, it's been rough for this year because it said the past couple of years had been kind of a goals league to some extent compared to historically.
There's like no actual true forwards right now that are doing anything meaningful. I think a lot of goals are coming from midfielders. A lot of goals from set pieces.
Give me the name I would recognize the most playing in Serie A right now.
As a like forward or as a
anybody like, but hey, this player plays in Serie A and you probably know who that is.
Lautaro Martinez maybe would be the guy I think of.
Man, I don't know if I could tell you who that is.
I mean, if he follows Premier League, Scott McTominay, right? He would recognize that name, and he's been good for Napoli. But Lukaku, who's injured.
Oh, Lukaku. Yeah, there we go. There's a name I recognize. Okay. Okay. Any Americans playing in
Pulisic,
Oh, that's right. Pulisic.
Musa.
You didn't lead with that.
Kenny.
You didn't lead
Sorry,
with Captain
Messi
America?
McKenny.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nick, I got one for you.
hit me.
And this is just me kind of being an ass about it, but Nico Zaniolo to score on Roma this weekend plus 475.
Dude, he's been hot. He's
Been
goals
hot,
in 3 out of the
and it's
last
like,
4.
He's going to be hell bent on scoring this
I
weekend.
like it. 3 out of the last 4.
I hope it doesn't hit, but
here.
I mean that's a big number on a guy who's been pretty hot.
I don't want to do it, but let me do the responsible thing and give the people what they're asking for. So Tim, my team is Lazio, so you know, and Inter's a massive favorite. Never mind. I thought the odds would be a little bit different, but they're minus 300. So never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Avoid that game.
There's not a lot I love this weekend.
The guy you're talking, Udinese, that's the team that he was on.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name?
Zaniolo.
He's third. He's overperforming his non-penalty xG.
Definitely is.
Yeah. He has 3 goals on 1.3 non-penalty xG.
So this one here, Tim, for the backstory for you, this is like a revenge narrative here. He played for Roma, kind of got unceremoniously sent away, and he was like the star in the making, and he's completely burned out, and now he's starting to play well again.
Also, like 2 ACL injuries, right? Like back.
Yeah, the ACL injuries were the big thing for him, obviow but
went into the training ground and beat up kids on the under 21 team and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where do you watch Serie A games?
Paramount Plus.
Paramount.
Okay.
No.
All right. What was the bet that you just talked me into? You have to text it to me.
We'll do.
Tell me what game that was.
Napoli, Bologna. Both teams.
There we go. I can't. Like I said, I came in here with 2 bets.
That's the fun of it. Yeah. So usually we're on a Wednesday night, and these we obviously do our research earlier in the day, and I lock in what I like, but I'll lock in usually 2 or 3 bets while we're streaming. I'm just like, oh yeah, no, that's it, we're in. You talked me into it. Somebody in the chat throws a good fucking number out there. We go.
It's been the blessing and curse of double chance because Nate and I, early in the season, we would text each other oh man, I barely got the 3 bets for this week, and then then of course we like the other person's bets, so
talk it through, and it's like, oh yeah, okay.
Between talking, we land together on another bet, so I end up having 7 at the end of the day. It's and then I wonder why my handle has gone up as much as it has. And there's nothing I enjoy more than pulling up footy stats. Footy stats is sort of my first stop on looking at soccer metrics, right? And I look at the day's fixtures, and I know I'm not getting the best of the number because I'm looking at game day, but I will be tomorrow. All right, Watford is playing Bristol City. Let me look at the metrics real quick. Let me look at the line. Do I think there's still a bet to be made here? And betting it, and there's just no sport in the world that you could college basketball maybe is the only other sport where you can just be hey, what random games are going on today that I can get into and get a piece of and do that on a daily basis. But college basketball still has its a season. Soccer, I can do this every stinking day. International duties are the only periods where that might be limited. Otherwise, every day you can wake up, find a game happening in some league that's serious enough where you'd be willing to bet on it and make a wager.
Fuck yeah.
Nick, I've got one more for us before we go.
He's going. I was going to say he's going to Germany. There's no doubt
going to Germany. Hoffenheim's been pretty good this year. So this is not to say Hoffenheim has been, pretty good. I think they're 6th in the table. I just saw. But Leipzig, unbeaten in 10. They don't play in Europe this year, so they've got the rest. On the draw no bet at Hoffenheim, they're minus 125. They've won 4 straight. To me, that's worth the risk of them possibly losing their first time in 10 matches because you got the protection against the draw at minus 125.
Always.
Yeah.
Hoffenheim, I mean, the only thing that's weird about them is, if I remember correctly, if it's the team I'm thinking of, they had no goals scored through 4 or 5 matches, and then their last 6 or 7 games, they've scored 3 goals in every match. Is that the team?
The last 3 games they've scored 3 goals. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then 4 before that, 1. But right, the first couple games of the year, they did nothing.
They may have been. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
Wait, so you like Leipzig at
Leipzig
Draw
on the draw no bet. Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, I'm in. All right.
Minus 125. I really like that number.
Yeah, what's the total is probably right at 3.5. I don't know how looking one of the parts of my handicap is looking at body of work and run of form. And when you're familiar with the league, you can quickly look at that snapshot and be like, oh, that's a good run of form, it's a bad run of form. But when it's the one sort of downside to trying to handicap a match in a league that you're unfamiliar with is like I look at Hoffenheim's last 3 matches. Like I don't know how good Wolfsburg, Heidenheim, or St. Pauli are to know if those wins matter, right?
And every one of those teams.
So
is in the
Heidenheim last,
bottom
St.
13.
Pauli 15th out of 18, and what was it? Wolfsburg, I think he said was the other. They're 12.
Yeah, Wolfsburg's 2 wins. Wolfsburg has.
Alternatively, Leipzig, Augsburg, Stuttgart, Hamburg. Last 3 wins. Last 3 games, all wins. Like
So
I don't
Stuttgart is 4th.
I mean,
the other 2 teams.
Drawing bet seems like a good bet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet it right now. Actually,
all right, guys, we'll lock it in together.
I'm getting it at minus 120.
Let's see what we got here on the good old Hard Rock.
Good enough for me. Yeah, I see it minus 130 at Buckeye.
Leipzig.
All right,
Minus
there we go.
130. All right, we're in together.
Yeah. Very good. Oh, you know what? Oh, I should have saved this for do either of you use betting exchanges like ProfitX or Novig or anything like that?
No.
Dude, I mean I'm getting all of my best numbers. You can't always get the full fill at the number you want, but I'm always finding the better number on ProfitX because it's an exchange. And I probably should have looked there first, but oh well. Okay. I feel good about it. Thank you for adding to my
That's what we're all about. No,
Yeah.
Tim, thank you honestly, brother, for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming, but
Yeah.
appreciate your expertise, your outlook on betting. It's a breath of fresh air, I think, to Steve and I think so. We fall into a trap of like looking at the games the same way. So definitely love outside perspective. We've talked a little bit about what you're doing this year, but please let everybody know where they can find you and what's going on.
Yeah, I host a podcast on gambling called The Better Life. You can find that it's called Better Than Ever in this new iteration. You can find that in your podcast app. And then Double Chance, which was brought up here, is my Major League Soccer betting show. It's at least going to be one full season. Wife and I are expecting another kid in January. That will probably make it difficult for me to do a weekly betting show on a routine. So Double Chance will have at least seen one full season. It may see a solo effort from me next season, but it's a lot of fun. It was modeled after Gil Alexander's NFL Megapod in sort of the structure and the best bets, stuff like that. And it's one of those, whether you like the bets we make or not, that's not all that matters. It's sort of just being a part. Like it's tough to find good betting content on soccer leagues, right? So if you're into MLS and you're into betting it, I think you'll enjoy it. That's called Double Chance.
Hell yeah. Absolutely awesome. A lot of fun. I think I was on 3 or 4 times with you. Appreciate that opportunity, but we had a ball, dude. It's about, like you said, I think it's, what we try to do here as well. Talk through some stuff and try to put some good ideas out there, and hey, make your own decisions, make your own bets, obviously, but have some fun. So definitely all about that. Can't thank you enough for coming back on with us here. Open invite, dude. Anytime you want to talk anything in particular, you know that.
Brother, let's do it.
And best of luck this weekend with all the bets we gave you.
It's a lot of them.
Appreciate you guys in the chat. We'll catch you next week.
Bye.